3 times that he talked to me, every time the objection was a setup fee.
Really?
Yeah, it's like why you guys have a setup fee? I can't get my head around the retainer. Back then I was quoting him like $2,000 or like less than that, $1,500 as a setup fee. Retainer was around like, I think it was like 4K, same thing. They couldn't get their head around it. And then
how long was that? How much months went on that they didn't use our system?
probably over like a year and a half.
A year and a half?
Yeah, so the first time that I spoke with like their sales manager was a year and a half ago, right?
Wow.
The initial time that I spoke to that company as a whole, their sales manager came to us. It was like, yeah, we're looking for a marketing company. We are pretty big over here. We want to do a lot. And they think they do over like $30-40 million per location. They have a lot of locations in California.
Got it.
They're pretty conglomerate is what I would call them. They're a big company.
And a $30-40 million company couldn't pull the trigger on a 4,000 setup?
Yeah, they couldn't justify it against their like marketing percentage.
What is the marketing percentage?
They want it to be like under 8% or under like 7%.
Wow. 8% marketing at that scale, that just seems like it's kind of self-inflicted that you just don't want growth at that point.
Yeah, so the national marketing director couldn't get his head around it. But the funny thing is, they had like 3 conversations every time trying to convince themselves to do it.
With who? Like between the marketing director and like the owners?
Yeah, the marketing director would go to the owners wouldn't accept, marketing director would be like, no, they're never gonna accept. This time, the national sales manager comes up and says, you know what, like, F it, we're just gonna do this shit. And like, he brings the marketing director, they all have a conversation. This time they actually move forward on a higher setup fee.
Let me ask you a question. What changed since then? And I have an idea. I think it's the marketing percentage. They realized they just kept getting in their own way.
Yeah, like their biggest bottleneck was they couldn't scale. I think they finally realized why they couldn't scale.
Got it. It's because they just heard a number somewhere, maybe from a roofing influencer, like a business guru, and they thought, if someone above me said that, that's what applies to me.
Yeah, but the reality of business is like you'll realize the bigger you get, the more you have to pay to acquire customers. That's just the reality with paid advertising.
Yeah, and so like, you know, we being partners, we're just like talking on the video, like we talk behind the scenes a lot about like what we actually do to help bigger scale companies lower their percentage of marketing, right? So like, what are some things that you think these companies should know? Like if you were to go back, be able to tell Abe the same thing, look, dude, a year and a half went by, right? Yeah. If you were to just tell him the freaking straight truth from the beginning, like what do you think that version of Abe has to hear genuinely from himself?
The reality is, like, if you actually look at our marketing, for example, on a long-term horizon, and you look at the true marketing percentage, not including the setup fee and not including the first month and getting over the hump.
Yeah.
And the reality of like being able to get referrals from the leads that we get you to actually lower your net cost per acquisition and all the things that we do at scale, like your cost with us literally goes down. If he knew all those things and he actually played out the reality of like, if this company were to truly succeed, would I be able to get results?
Wow. If
he asked himself that question, he'd be like, wow, I'm dumb for not pulling the trigger, which is what he realized now.
And so I think the issue, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, man, like what it sounds like is he just didn't consider the fact that referrals come from the leads that we get for our clients. And even though it might cost us like $225 to get them in front of a homeowner who needs a roof, has a timeline, they have the budget, they own the home, right? And alongside that cost, it's like the cost is actually lower than that because that person refers their 3 neighbors, their friends, their dog walker and shit like that.
Yeah, and then like if he just did the math on our fees, like at scale, you would actually end up paying us less, which balances out your net cost per appointment. Being able to have an agency give you a specific cost per appointment at scale, things that we can do, we spend about $150K a month on our own ads.
Yep.
Like that's insane.
I understand.
Right? And if they just realized like those little things, they would have so much more certainty in being able to actually like scale their own business too. Because the other thing I'll tell you is they don't realize the market exposure they're getting with scaled advertising, right?
Yeah.
It's probably gonna help their organic, their SEO, their Google ads. Like if you realize that, you realize, oh wow, it's like I was actually being a complete idiot, which is what they said.
And you know, do these companies at like the $30-40 million level have like really dialed in tracking and attribution system?
A lot of them like do have for their own like systems and stuff, but like for marketing aggregators, like not really, unless they're like larger private equities.
Got it. I mean, we do work with a couple of private equity firms, none of which that will actually like stay on this call for the privacy of, you know, them working with us. But the thing about these companies is that to me, it just seems like they understand what the other companies that are not private equity backed don't get. Yeah. Like they understand because they've found somebody who has built the system already that gets them the results and they just look for more inputs. They don't care, right? They realize the costs are worth it. So when private equity companies work with us, that's why we get so many referrals. Like we get so many roofing companies that get referred to us to help them with their marketing
Yeah.
within private equity networks. But the thing is, the non-private equity backed companies,
That's right.
who are the ones who would benefit from the most help, they never even pull the trigger.
Yeah, it's like the owners have a ton of limiting beliefs that they impose upon the marketers, and then the marketers are like,
And it makes sense. It
Yeah,
makes total
like-
sense. Like, this industry is full of retards, honestly.
people like they just keep imposing beliefs upon themselves, and that decides the scale of their company.
Yep, makes sense. If we were to point it out, man, just like for roofers listening to this, like what are some of those limiting beliefs that, you know, it would help to have some self-awareness about?
Genuinely, if you're a company trying to scale, stop trying to impose 5% or 7% of marketing costs onto yourself. You might need to go as far as like 15%, 20%. And yes, that does eat into your net margins to begin with, but the reality is once you can stabilize your channels, you will have a way better net margin. Like, stop trying to save money on agency fees, like $1,000, $500. I've seen this so many times with like companies that are doing 15, 20, 30 million. Like, they just impose bullshit upon themselves.
So the question is, like, how do you actually realize the truth? What should you optimize for?
Optimize for doing the fucking math.
How do you do the math? Because like these companies, they're just saying, oh, my gross profit, my cost to fulfill, my operational overhead, I have insurance. Like, how do you just like strip away all the thinking? And it's like, what do I actually look at right now to assess, does this marketing channel make sense for me?
Like, truly, you want to look at the numbers now. You'd want to look at how the numbers can look in a year. And then you want to look at what are the non-tangibles that this number can produce for me as well. So being able to put those three things into one category and then make a decision off of it.
What are those non-tangibles?
Non-tangibles, like the organic presence that grows as a result of advertising.
I'm sure that you could somehow quantify, like, okay, like if you had no paid ads in 1 year, right, 2025, and then in paid ads you had 2026, you ran paid ads. You could probably look at something like the close rate of your other lead source and see like it actually came up.
Yeah. 100%. Here's one thing that's people say, right? But they don't actually like track this very closely. Oh, there's this one lead that said that we got from Google, that Roof Ignite. Like, I saw these guys like advertising for us, and it was like, oh, they saw us on Facebook.
Yeah.
And because we're the only Facebook agency they run with, it's like, oh, you guys actually got me that.
Right.
But they went through Google. It's like homeowners also have a buying cycle, right? They might see you on Facebook, then they might see you on Google, then they might see you on Facebook again, they might see you on Google. Okay, now I'll move forward.
I think that so many companies sell themselves out of the game by not advertising more, because they only think about like the 2 to 3% in market homeowners that actually need the roof now. That they're not thinking about, okay, if I take this action now, yes, I'm getting appointments, but if the costs go up a little bit more, it's okay.
Yeah.
What about in 6 months from now? Maybe someone who isn't ready to pull the trigger, but decides, okay, maybe it actually makes sense because I've seen this guy so many times, I will actually reach out for a quote.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you think about it, private equities are a great example of this. Even like what Warren Buffett, a billionaire, literally says, like, they say, private equities say, the ones that we work with, it's like millionaires look at things in a year's time horizon.
Yeah.
Versus like billionaires look at decades.
Right.
So it's like, if you want to build something that's truly built for generations and you want it to be a big, large corporation, or maybe not necessarily even corporation, but a large company, then you need to think about it on a longer term horizon of like, what are you actually accomplishing?
Yeah, I have a great example of that. Like whenever Roof Ignite, like whenever we're actually like, when we were in that like 10 to 100K a month phase in our actual company, which for home service businesses, profits and numbers look a little bit different. So that equivalent in revenue might be in the operational complexity of like a 500K a year or $3 million a year company, right? So 10 to 100K for us as a marketing company. We were only able to think in terms of what we already knew.
Yeah.
So like when we would advertise, we would pay like $600 to get a roofing client for ourselves. What we didn't see was that on organic, when we would advertise, the close rate of those clients also went up because of Facebook. They were seeing us on organic, which is where they found us. But then, you know, after we passed 100K a month, now we're doing like $300,000, $400,000 a month. And we're actually like a 7-figure company growing towards 8. Like now we're able to see, because we've learned more, it's not just what you get from what you're trying to do. It's all the other things that you didn't see that it makes your life so much easier. And the people who don't realize this, they're the ones who need it the most.
And then here's the funny thing, just on top of what you say, like literally as we speak, we came to a realization recently that we need to do like retargeting ads.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, we spent all this money to build this pipeline, and we're like, oh, why are ads, like, why are we not doing as good as we think?
Right.
But the reality is, like, we actually have this pipeline of people who are probably going to move forward, like, very aggressively. So then when we look at the attributed after retargeting, look at the attributed return on ad spend, we probably are going to do a much better job with the same number of prospects if we just actually had better systems around us. So like a lot of these people also look at things like, oh, there's this homeowner who's shopping around with 5 other companies. Well, here's the thing. It's like if they're shopping around with 5 other companies, one of the companies is going to fuck up and they're probably have to going to do the roof again. It's like, who's it going to be next time?
Right.
That happens all the time.
It does. It also happens to us as marketing companies.
Yeah.
It's like the roofer cheaps out. They go with the cheapest option. They blow their money and then they think marketing doesn't work. It's the same thing. And that also brings up a good point. So like when you were talking about the things you can't see, I was also thinking about brand and how actually running Facebook ads to get homeowners makes it to where top talent, like sales reps that close $1 million plus per year, they actually want to come work for your company because like, holy shit, this guy, they're generating leads for themselves. That means that if I were to join their company, screw this company I'm working at right now, they treat me okay. But if I join their company, I've seen their ads so many times, homeowners probably are laydowns from those deals. I'm gonna go join them.
Brand equity is a real thing.
Really?
And the reality is a lot of these companies don't even track their market brand equity. Like they don't know.
How do you track those things though? It's pretty hard, right? For like an average company?
It's hard for an average company, yeah.
Average company.
But we've seen companies who are dialed in on their brand equity. Like I know people who know their percentage on their market.
Yeah.
And so it's like going back to your point where you're saying being able to actually sit down, intentionally think about those things and then realize, wow, it's like we do have X amount of brand equity, we could be at Y and here's the outcome of those things. Those are the intangibles. Like we call it intangibles, but no, it's not really intangible. So you could track those things. Most people are not set up for it.
Yeah. Oh man. It's so crazy. It's literally a cycle. Like you hear this all the time. It's so cliche. Like the rich get richer and the poor stay poor. It's like, why? There's roofing companies that feel like they're working so hard and they just never get past where they're at because they are where they're at. So they're restricted to their level of thinking. They just can't think, what are these actual bigger companies doing that I'm not?
One of the things I always tell people is like working with us, I can teach you and I can help you understand like what it is that these people are doing because we see insights on what they do.
Yeah.
And I could also tell you like this is the company that just started to come work with us.
Yeah.
Like they're a large company and they were making mistakes that, you know, larger companies wouldn't make. And these are things like we literally had to sit down and teach them. Guys, like make a decision now.
A $30 million company.
Yeah, a $30 million company per location. They have multiple.
It almost makes you question like, does the number like at revenue that people are at like actually represent their competence level? No. A
lot of times not. Because again, a lot of you have to think about the owners of these businesses. The owners of the businesses are somebody who's really good at hiring the right people and the right people are running the show. But the owner's limiting beliefs and the executives' limiting beliefs are what set the capacity for the company.
Yeah, that makes so much sense to me. There's also like, I was looking at like Google as an example, right? Like trying to see how much money are our clients. We don't help them with Google right now.
No.
We help them with Meta. I was like, how much money are they making from Google? It's like, how do you track that? Well, you track that by maybe having a specific phone number where whenever someone calls, +1 to the dial of like, okay, Google, I got one more lead here. And so something that we've been seeing and actually been starting to help our clients with is like setting up a literal AI bot that goes into their pipeline and drills all the homeowners they had appointments with, as well as the homeowners that they already closed the job with and did the roof. And it just asks them, hey, like, can you leave a quick review? I'd be happy to give you like a $100 voucher to either you or someone you refer. And it's like they get dozens of reviews within weeks. And it's like we can see from that count, it's like, okay, last month you got like 50 leads, but this month you got 100. And it's because you called all those homeowners and your ranking went up. It's like these little things, they all exist, but people forget about.
And so the biggest mistake I see with companies all the time is like they get their national marketing director or their national sales manager to go sit there, but then the national marketing director can't think about these things from that perspective.
Why?
Nobody taught them.
Nobody taught them.
Yeah, and the owner doesn't even think these things. Or if the owner does, it's like he's too detached from the business. It's like he needs to tap in more when he's looking to scale.
Yeah.
It's like when you're looking to hire marketing companies, you got to tap in more.
And it feels hard though, because like only so many project managers, only so many like national marketing directors, right, in a specific area. Because like it's not like an online business where you can just like advertise across the entirety of America to find the right person to help you.
Yeah.
Right? It's like you're actually limited to the people in your area.
Correct.
But what if you couldn't be? Like, I know that like you and I recently, like the way that we found our team members, our specific creative specialists and strategies were, dude, they were able to bring our clients' costs down by 20% on cost per appointment. Without him, we weren't able to do that. But then we just looked, where are these guys actually working? And the answer was for other companies. Like most of them weren't on Indeed looking for jobs. Yeah, literally poaching people. Like we just poached him.
Yeah. So that's another thing is that stops companies from hiring the right people. Marketing companies, as an example, is just like they don't have the right talent to be able to identify what's right and what's wrong because they don't do enough poaching. They don't go find the right talent in the first place. I say with confidence, and I've told many roofing owners this, look, your biggest problem isn't your marketing. The fact that you don't know how to identify the right people.
And that is probably why, was his name Abe?
Yeah.
Abe, the $40 million company. It's like, that's probably why he took so long, because he came to a realization, but it took a year.
It wasn't even him, man. It
wasn't him.
He was a national sales director. There was a national marketing director. There's like multiple people involved. And you'll see like what happens with these companies is like there's one person who says yes, one person who says no, one person who says yes. And you got to get them to agree. And it's like, how do we get everybody on the same page? It's like, that's the leadership's job.
Yeah.
Right? We can't force their leadership to make a decision on getting their team members on the same page.
I mean, but you and I, the owners of Roof Ignite, our marketing company, we can definitely help show what are the actual traits that you should look for when hiring a marketing company. Like what actually makes someone stand out, and you actually being able to be convicted in them and believe that they can help you, because there's so many out there. Like, what are the things that you would look for, that you would tell a roofer right now?
Well, the biggest thing I would tell roofers in terms of finding a marketing company is, are they actually telling you what the fuck they're doing? Like on a real level, like they're telling you, okay, here's what other companies are doing, here's what we're doing. And then are they able to, if you don't know what to look for in marketing companies, actually like teach you to like, here's what to look for. And then so like the question becomes, what are those things?
Yeah.
Well, are they good at attribution? Are they good at pixel conditioning, as an example, if they're a Facebook meta advertising agency? Are they running legitimate creatives and A/B testing like multiple silhouettes of ads instead of just like one thing that they know works, right? Are they running multiple different types of copies? Do they have social proof? That's a big thing, is like, are they a legitimate company that's running across the states? Another one that I always look for is like, how dialed in is their processes?
Yeah,
right?
Like if you look them up, are they running Facebook ads themselves?
Yeah. And then the biggest thing is like the guy you're speaking to, if it's a sales rep, if it's an owner, do they give a fuck? Because if that's the direct representation of how they run their business.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
It's like, if they do give a fuck and if they do check off the boxes and they can show you the proof and they can show you the data, how much of a bet is it really?
How much of a bet is it really? But they also don't know the right questions to ask. So like, okay, you now know that.
Yeah.
But then you can also ask questions like, how much percentage of your clients refunded you? How long is the average tenure of your clients?
Yeah.
Like how long do they stick around?
What's your retention rate?
What's your retention? Dispute rate. What percentage of people like dispute your payments because they think you're scamming them?
Yeah, because a lot of roofers, they don't actually understand the nature of marketing companies. They just understand the nature of a roofing company.
Yeah.
It's like, what does a structurally well-run marketing company actually look like? And then can you ask the right questions to be able to identify if this person's structurally running their business the right way? Because if you can do that, then that answers like all the big questions.
So that's for an entry level, or like when I say entry level, I'm talking like, okay, a roofer that just wants to tack on an extra like high 6 figures, low 7 figures to their annual revenue, just through like a meta advertising channel. What about the roofer that is trying to pick a company that's able to go the lengths of scale with them? How do they actually vet the people that are able to help them efficiently spend upwards of $500, $1,000, $2,000 a day, which is literally that could be between $10,000 and $50,000 of marketing budget per month.
Have you done it for somebody else? And then if so, in what market, and what is your specific strategy?
Yeah, like what are the challenges that come up? Do you have a plan for how you handle all that?
Yeah, like for example, if we're spending $1,000 a day, which we do for multiple clients, like if we're doing that, what are you doing if we got no leads? Like why would that be?
Yeah, what are you doing to support that? What's the actual infrastructure? What's the backbone behind that? If you need, let's say, like 10 images that are just like taken by your sales reps with a homeowner in front of a roof that you did, and that supports, call it 20 appointments at $150 a day, which is $4,000 a month spent. As soon as you try to scale it up and crank it up, it seems like you're losing a ton of profit because you're hitting diminishing returns. But what they don't get is like, what is the actual infrastructure that supports $1,000 or $2,000 a day? It's the creative engine.
Yeah, so being able to articulate like, this is the infrastructure for $2,000 a day. This is the infrastructure for 5. This is the infrastructure for 10.
Yeah.
And then we don't know how to do 15. You can say that. Yeah, like, and that's the honest reality.
The honest truth is, dude, we don't know how to spend more than $10,000 a day past our own marketing.
Yeah.
Like we only know how to spend $10,000 a day maximum. We haven't learn what the next step after that looks like, which is why we don't do it. And we're upfront with that.
I'm sure it's not rocket science. It's like at the end of the day, advertising is like more creatives, more copy, more style of ads. I mean, like that's what it is.
Yeah.
But also getting more efficient with that, right? Like that's one thing we learned recently is like how do you get more efficient retargeting campaigns like this?
Yeah.
Right. So
Wow.
we learned that as well.
That makes so much sense. We should really like want to make sure that everyone hears this, because there's just so much self-inflicted pain
Yeah.
for making the wrong decisions with a lack of awareness about literal lessons that we're talking about right here, that it took us 2 to 3 years to learn all this stuff. You know, like you and I started when we were like 15. It's not been that many years, but it has felt long at the same time. For them, for a lot of home service companies, they've been in business for like dozens of years.
Yeah.
I know, like, for example, my family, they run a blue collar business. It's
Yeah.
not a roofing company, but it's an auto body shop repair, and they sell parts. And it's like, they think that getting more customers beyond referrals is like, it's just too much work. So they don't do it. But it's like, it's the same hours in the day that you're spending.
Yeah.
You could be making more money. You could have an objectively better life, make more money, have better people you prefer working with, all happening if you made the right decisions and made yourself aware of like what is available to me. So I think I'd want to close out by just like really harping on that. Like, what are the next steps for them to do right now?
The next steps for a roofing company looking to grow is first look internally. Do you have the structure to be able to support growth? Then the second question would be go find a marketing company, if the answer is yes, who also has the structure to be able to support your growth, right? Hire multiple, take your bets, and really from there on, just look to scale with one person who's structurally set up to scale, just like you're structurally set up to scale. And I also want to just add this before I end this off. The reason most marketing agencies, especially in the roofing space, fail or quote unquote give you shit quality is because they're not structurally set up properly.
Yeah.
Think about your own business. If you scaled 10x right now, would you be able to support it? If no, then it's like, would they be able to support it? No. That's why you're getting shit results. You would give your client shit results. They give their client shit results. It's the same reason. It's not rocket science. At the end of the day, if you're ready to grow, find somebody who's also ready to grow with you.
Yeah.
So if you can do that and ask the right questions around it, then do it. So if you watched this far, right now, we positioned our company with the things that we've learned to be able to scale with better clients. And we realized like we specifically want certain types of people.
Yeah.
We don't want others. So if you're watching this, you're one of them. And this way, you can actually find a partner who gives a fuck, who's structurally set up to scale you, who's not looking to pack on every single client in the world.
Hope this video was helpful. We post many weekly and also on our Instagram. Better yet, just work with us. Talk soon, and we'll see you in the next one.